and welcome to my workshop. Today we're going to cover how to fill in an existing hole in a piece of aluminum, and we're going to use a metalized epoxy. The reason we're doing that is the hole was drilled about halfway off center. You can see a little bit of shiny area right here. That's where I was trying to put the screw in, and it was digging into the aluminum. So what we're going to have to do to try to save this piece is to fill in all of this existing screw with the metalized epoxy. We'll come back and mark and drill a new hole, which will be over about half a hole. And when we do that, we'll actually go in deeper than this hole is now, because this hole is bottomed out. And there's still a little bit of material left here that wouldn't have been drilled out originally. It wouldn't be filled with the epoxy. And so when we drill that hole out, we'll continue on through. It'll break through the back, but there's plenty of room for that. We'll put a screw that runs the entire depth into here, which is about maybe a millimeter, 2 millimeters, 2 millimeters more than the bottom of this hole. And if you look at any lock nut, the available thread is across this right here. And so any nut you put on, that's the only biting force you have with thread. This top part is all just the locking portion. So basically your nut is right here. So if you kind of look at that from this standpoint, even though this is aluminum, that's steel, it makes a difference, but still the available amount you have, it should be plenty enough, plus with the metalized epoxy that should hold for more than you need. This is an extra speed part. Typically I've had very good luck with these. I bought a lot of their products. This is literally the first one I've ever purchased that is off. I guess everybody has a bad day. So anyway, let's get started with that. So I was able to get the steel reinforced or metalized epoxy mixed up and pushed down into the hole with a pick. And so we got a good adhesion to get it poked down, get all the air bubbles out, and then just kind of smooth that off a little bit. We'll come back once this is dry, mark it, drill a new hole, and we'll be in good shape. So I was able to get the hole filled in with the metalized epoxy, and I've ground that back so that it's flush. And we're going to take an old chassis rail I have laying around, and we can use that as the test piece. So I can just stick this in the side where it would normally go, and then drill the hole in place. That way you get a little more accurate setup. So even though it is a metric hole, I usually use a 3/32 drill bit. The main reason is that in the US I can get them and they're very handy. I can get metric drill bits, but they're just harder to find. So we drilled that hole out, used a M3 tap, and it was able to bite into, majority of the aluminum, a little bit of the material. We drilled the hole all the way through, and then some of the epoxy, and so that's plenty good thread to capture that. And now we can put a screw in the back hole and a screw in the front hole, and everything lines up. You can get this one good and tight, and that one good and tight. So we've been able to save this piece because we're able to fill that hole in and re-drill and re-tap the hole in a new location. Obviously, if it was way off, you just drill a new hole, but because this was halfway off, halfway on the existing hole, we had to use the metalized epoxy and come back and tap the hole out, and now it'll fit stock with any SCX10 chassis rail like it was supposed to from the beginning. So even though this isn't a part that I messed up, I was able to fix it, but there's always the chance that there might be something you're working on that you mess up, and now you'll have a good opportunity to be able to fix that part instead of scrapping it and starting over. So hope you've enjoyed this. Hopefully it's been helpful, and I'll see you on the rocks.